Chris?
Hello.
Hi, good
Yes.
morning. I just wanted
Good
to
morning.
allude to the fact, Avi has been watching these presentations now for a while, and last week he asked us, he raised his hand and said, what do I got to do to become a seller on the platform, and how does that work? So we set him up, and just so you know, all we need from you to become a seller on the platform is a different email address. All of our logins are email specific. So just by providing a second email address and then loading your what we call OD pairs, origin destination pairs. Remember, we're managing the freight. We're matching every single seller with every single buyer on the platform and maintaining those freights. That's a massive undertaking behind the scenes. That value is huge. So Avi raised his hand and said, I'd like to sell on the platform. So Avi, you sold some product on the platform this week. I'm really most interested in your mindset and what cued you up to say, I'd like to give this a try.
So we had some excess OSB that we bought in November and December. And as you've mentioned, Paul, on previous calls, don't fall in love with your material. It has to serve its need and it has to serve a purpose. And so we decided as a company that we had enough to give up and just to move. And we'd rather lock in our profit now rather than risk diminishing profit later. So we took advantage of the platform and were able to fulfill a need for somebody else and help us out as well.
That's wonderful, and thank you for that. It's also, you'll see the header I've got on here of innovation and thought leadership. I mean, it's that kind of thinking by someone. Avi is someone that has come into the business, into the family business, but from outside of the industry, from a finance background, and he's got a totally different way of thinking in terms of how to use the exchange in the ways that he's used to using an exchange, and now applying it to the lumber distribution channels. And so, Avi, that's a tremendous win for you and for us in terms of proving out the model. And we appreciate your support very
Paul,
much.
if I could just chime in about that transaction, it was a true win-win because while Avi was able to right size his inventory, there was a buy side to that right size their inventory too. They were in need. So the exchange did exactly what it's supposed to do, and that is to balance out supply and demand across the geographic region. And I think it's important to look at both sides of the equation. While Avi benefited greatly, the buyer on that also benefited greatly. This is just a perfect example of using a connected network of people to help each other out and to really make the industry better.
Very good. Thanks for that, Mike.